brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy. Where has such a personality as Advaita Acharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunatha Dasa, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunatha Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta? Where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I'll smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Dasa simply weeps. So this is bhajan is typically sung in honor of devotees who have passed away. Jayanilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur Heno Prabhu ko tagela Acharya Thakur Kaha mora Swarup Rupa Kaha Sanatan Kaha Das Raghunatha Patita Pavan Kaha Mora Bhatta Juga Kaha Kaviraj एक काल को था गेला घोरा नटराज पाशाने कुटी भो माथा अनले पशीभो गौरांग गुणीर निधि कोथा घेल पाभो से सब संगीर संगे जे कोई लो बिलास से संग न पाया कांडे नरोत्तम दास जय अनिलो प्रेमाधन करुणा प्रचुर हेन प्रभु को तागेला आचार्य ठाकुर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय अनिलो प्रेमाधन करुणा प्रचुर नाम संकीर्तन की जय कृष्ण ठाकुर की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वंदन की जय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो हरे कृष्णा ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके bhaktir-bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. जगन्नाथ बलदेश्वर माई की जय, राधा माधव की जय, नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. So Hare Krishna Prabhu's Mataji, today we will be discussing from 4th canto, 21st chapter, verse number 40. It is the chapter entitled Instructions by Maharaj Prithu. पुमान् लभेता नतिवेलमात्मनः प्रसीदतोऽत्यन्तशमं स्वतः स्वयं यन्नित्यसम्बन्धनिषेवया ततः परं किमत्रास्ति मुखं हविर्भुजाम्. पुमान् लभेता नतिवेलमात्मनः प्रसीदतोऽत्यन्तशमं स्वतः स्वयं यन्नित्यसम्बन्धनिषेवया ततः परं किमत्रास्ति मुखं हविर्भुजाम्. पुमान् लभेता नतिवेलमात्मनः प्रसीदतोऽत्यन्तशमं स्वतः स्वयं यन्नित्यसम्बन्धनिषेवया ततः परं किमत्रास्ति मुखं हविर्भुजाम्. Any one Prabhu and one Mataji can recite.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shall I?
Krishna, yes ma'am.
Pumaन् labeta natirelamātmana prasidatotyanta-shamam.
I think your voice is not. Yes, Prabhuji, can anybody recite?
Hare Krishna, may I?
Yes, yes.
Pumaन् labeta nativelamātmanah prasidatotyanta-shamam swatah swayam yannitya-sambandha-nishevaya tatah param kimatrasti mukham havirbhujam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Synonymous word to word meaning. Puman, a person. Labheta, can achieve. Anati velam, without delay. Atmanaha, of his soul. Prasidataha, being satisfied. Atyanta, the greatest. Shamam, peace. Swataha, automatically. Swayam, personally. Yat, whose. Nitya, regular. Sambandha, relationship. Nishevaya, by dint of service. Tataha, after that. Param, superior. Kim, what. Atra, here. Asti, there is. Mukham, happiness. Havihi, clarified butter. Bhujam, those who drink. Translation and purport by Divine Guru Shri Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. By regular service to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, one can clear the dirt from his heart and thus enjoy supreme peace and liberation from material attachment and be satisfied. In this world, there is no fruitive activity superior to serving the Brahmana class, for this can bring pleasure to the demigods, for whom the many sacrifices are recommended. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 2.65, it is said, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir asyopajayate. Unless one is self-satisfied, he cannot be free from the miserable conditions of material existence. Therefore, it is essential to render service to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas to achieve the perfection of self-satisfaction. Srila Narottamadaasa Thakura therefore says, Tandera charana sevi bhakta sane vasa. Janame janame haya ei abhilasha. Birth after birth, I desire to serve the lotus feet of the Acharyas and live in a society of devotees. A spiritual atmosphere can be maintained only by living in a society of devotees and by serving the orders of the Acharyas. The spiritual master is the best Brahmana. At present, in the age of Kali, it is very difficult to render service to the Brahmana Kula or the Brahmana class. The difficulty according to the Varaha Puran is that demons taking advantage of Kali Yuga have taken birth in Brahmana families. Rakshasha Kalim Ashritya Jayante Brahma Yonishu, Varaha Puran. In other words, in this age, there are many so-called caste Brahmanas and caste Goswamis who take advantage of the Shastra and of the innocence of people in general, claim to be Brahmanas and Vaishnavas by hereditary right. One will not derive any benefit by rendering service to such false Brahmana Kulas. One must therefore take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and his associates and should also render service to them. For such activity will greatly help the neophyte in attaining full satisfaction. This has been very clearly explained by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura in his explanation of the words Vivasatmika Buddhir Ekena Kuru Nandana, Bhagavad Gita 2.41. By actually following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga as recommended by Srila Narottamadaasa Thakura, one can very quickly come to the transcendental platform of liberation as explained in this verse, Atyanta Shamam. The particular use of the word Anativelam, without delay, is very significant because simply by serving Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, one can get liberation. There is no need to undergo severe penances and austerities. The vivid example of this is Narada Muni himself. In his previous birth, he was simply a maidservant's son, but he got the opportunity to serve exalted Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And thus, in his next life, he not only became liberated, but became famous as the supreme spiritual master of the entire Vaishnava disciplic succession. According to the Vedic system, therefore, it is customarily recommended that after performing a ritualistic ceremony, one should feed the Brahmanas. Jai Shri Prabhupada's Transcendental Purport Ki Jai. Om Ajnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrshabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yonta Pravishya Mama Vacha Mimam Prasuktam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharasvadhamna Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatvagadin Prana Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangam Langegirim Yat Kripatam Amantavandamad. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna Bhutri Shrimati Mahashra Swamiti Navini. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna Bhutri Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Navini. Nirvisha Shunya Pascha Dhishtani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna Hare Ram. So Hare Krishna, Pravis Matagis, thank you very much for joining and keeping your appointment with Krishna today. Today is 28th of January 2026. So we will be discussing from 4th canto, 21st chapter, verse number 40. So we are all assembled here not to prove but to improve ourselves. Because Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are nothing to improve our behavior. That's the most important. So that let us see what lessons we can learn from today's verse. See, in the purport of Bhagavad Gita 2.41, which was referred by in this purport also, right? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Vyavasatmika Buddhi. It says, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. See, Srila Prabhupada, he says what faith is. F-A-I-T-H. What is faith? Prabhupada says, a strong faith in Krishna consciousness that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vivasatmika intelligence. And he says, faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. Very beautiful statement. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. See, a mother sometimes withdraws or withholds the toys from a child, no, to ensure that he doesn't neglect his studies, so that he will get a better, bright future. Similarly, Krishna sometimes withdraws or withholds our cherished toys. What are our toys? Wealth, love, possessions, to ensure we don't neglect our spiritual growth and miss out on a bright spiritual career. See, Krishna wants us to be happy in this world also. Please understand this point. Krishna wants us to be happy in this world too, but not at the cost of our eternal happiness in the next world. See, a lost child feels so happy, right, when at last he returns home. Correct? Then how much more happy we will be, the lost children of Krishna, when God takes us back to our eternal home. See, Krishna is constantly planning and endeavoring to provide us the supreme happiness. All we need to do is cooperate with his plan by serving him, come what may. So therefore, when our prayers appear to be unanswered, we can pray to Krishna for the wisdom to accept his plan and the determination to participate in that divine plan. See, Srila Prabhupada would say that the best prayer, the one prayer that will never fail, is the prayer asking for the strength to serve Krishna in every situation. See, when a child calls the name of his parent, a responsible parent immediately provides his real needs, right? Similarly, when we chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the Lord will immediately provide our real need, the strength to serve him. So when we humbly chant and pray for this inner strength, we will find that Krishna will never disappoint us. See, in the episode of Ajamila, right, when Ajamila's when he passed away and going, right, who the Yamadutas came, but ultimately Vishnudutas also came. So they had a discussion, and ultimately Yamadutas left. So the Yamadutas came and asked, then told this what happened. So then Yamaraj, considering himself and his servants as offenders, right, he spoke, begging pardon from the Krishna, the Lord. He was telling, "Oh my Lord, my servants have surely committed a great offense by arresting a Vaishnava such as Ajamila. O Narayana, O Supreme and oldest person, please forgive us. Because of our ignorance, we failed to recognize Ajamila as a servant of your Lordship. And thus we have certainly committed a great offense." See, who's telling? Yamaraj is telling. He's praying to the Lord. Because Vishnu, the Yamadutas went to bring Ajamila. But actually Vishnu Das came because he was a devotee. So therefore, with folded hands, Yamadutta is telling, we beg your pardon, my Lord, since you are supremely merciful and are always full of good qualities. Please pardon us. We offer our respect, Lord. So Shukadeva Goswami in that chapter he was telling to Parishit Maharaj, my dear king, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is able to uproot chanting. When you chant the name of the Lord, it is able to uproot even the reactions of the greatest sins. Therefore, the chanting of the Sankirtan movement is the most auspicious activity in the entire universe. So we should try to understand this so that others will take it seriously. One who constantly hears and chants the holy name of the Lord and hears and chants about his activities can very easily attain the platform of pure devotional service. And this pure devotional service can cleanse the dirt from one's heart. Cheto Darpana Marchanam. See, one cannot achieve such purification merely by observing vows and performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, just by chanting. Devotees who always lick the honey from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, they do not care for all these material activities, which are performed under the three modes of material nature, right, and which bring only misery. Devotees never give the lotus feet of Krishna to return to material activities. See, those who are addicted to Vedic rituals because they are all addicted, because they have neglected the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. And they are always enchanted by lusty desires. So the point, see, in the purport of 3.22.33, 3.22.3 purport. Purpose says, Kshatriyas are specifically meant to maintain the Brahmanas. Because if the Brahmanas are protected, then the head of civilization is protected. Brahmanas are supposed to be the head of the social body. Now if the head is clear and has not gone mad, then everything is in proper condition, in proper position also. So the Lord is described as Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitayacha. So the purport of this prayer is that the Lord specifically protects the Brahmanas and the cows. And then he protects all other members of the society, Jagat Hithaya. So it is his will that the universal welfare work depends on the protection of cows and Brahmanas. So the Brahmanical culture and cow protection are the basic principle for human civilization. Very important. Kshatriyas are especially meant to protect the Brahmanas, as is the supreme will of the Lord, right? Go Brahmana Hitayacha. See, as the heart is a very important part within the body, so the Brahmanas are also a very important element in human society. See, Kshatriyas are more like the whole body, okay? Even though the whole body is bigger than the heart is more important. See, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted the renounced order of life, that is sannyasa. He travelled all over India. And during this period, he went to Malda, a district in Bengal. In that area, there was a village named Ramakeli, where two government ministers of the Nawab Hussain Shah's regime, they lived. And these two ministers, who were brothers, were named Dabira Khasa and Sakara Mallika. Later, they were renamed as Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So they had a chance to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After they decided to retire from government service and join his Sankirtan movement. Afterwards, immediately, the moment they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they retired. So upon making this decision, they at once took steps to leave their mental engagements. So after arranging, so later on, younger brother Dabir Kasa, right, Rupa Goswami, he returned home with an immense amount of money, which he had acquired during his government service. Silver and gold coins he brought back, filled in a large boat. See, after arriving home, what did he do? He first divided the accumulated wealth in half and distributed one part to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So, for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he distributed 50% of his accumulated wealth to persons engaged in the Supreme Lord's transcendental loving service. Brahmanas are meant to understand the absolute truth. And once they understand the absolute truth and actually engage in the loving service of the Lord, they are known as Vaishnavas. So both Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are supposed to fully engage in transcendental service. And Rupa Goswami, considering their important position, transcendental position, gave them 50% of his wealth. The balance 50%, he again divided in half. Balance 25%. One part he distributed to his relatives, dependent family members, and the other he kept for personal emergencies. This is how, whatever income you get, 50% Krishna conscious activities, and 25% for personal emergencies, and 25% the dependent family members. See, Aditi is the mother of demigods. So she did a very Payavarta penance austerity he had done, right? So the Lord is telling, "O Mother Aditi," Aditi is in 8:7:16. "O Mother Aditi, mother of demigods, in my opinion, almost all the chiefs of the demons are now unconquerable because the demons have overcome the demigods, right? So mother of demigods, they are worried. So she was praying. Why the demons could not be conquered? Because they are being protected by Brahmanas, whom the Supreme Lord always favors. So the use of power against them now will not be a source of happiness. He said, you have to wait. The point to understand is, when a person is favored by Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, no one can defeat him. Even the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not interfere when one is protected by a Brahmana. So he said, "Go Brahmana hitayacha." So the Lord's first inclination is to give all benediction to the cows and Brahmanas. Therefore, if Brahmanas favor someone, the Lord does not interfere. Nor can anyone interfere with the happiness of such a person. So in the 17th verse, 8:3, I think it is 8:7, 16th verse he was telling. In the 17th verse he says, "Yet because I have been satisfied with the activities of your vow," the Lord is telling Aditi, "O goddess Aditi, I must find some means to favor you. For worship of me never goes in vain, but certainly gives the desired result according to what one deserves." Very nice point, right? The Lord is telling to, see, Aditi had done austerity, right? Payavarta. So he's telling, I have been satisfied by your activities of your vow. So that means I must find some means to favor you now. Because for worship of me never goes in vain, but certainly gives the desired result according to what one deserves. And the 18th one he says, "You have prayed to me and properly worshipped me by performing the great Payavarta ceremony for the sake of protecting your sons. So because of Kashyapa Muni's austerities, I shall agree to become your son and thus protect your other sons. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadhitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha." Vishnu Purana 1:1965. So he says, "Let me offer my respectful obeisance to Lord Krishna, who is the worshipable deity of all, for all Brahmanical men, who is a well-wisher of cows and Brahmanas, and who is always benefiting the whole world. I offer my repeated obeisances to the personality of Godhead known as Krishna and Govinda." So any person upon whom the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are pleased can achieve anything which is very rare to obtain in this world, as well as after death. Not only that, but one also receives the favor of the auspicious Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, who accompany the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. This is in 422.8 translation. And the purport Prabhupada says, the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are the bearers of Lord Vishnu, the all auspicious. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.38, "Premanjanachurita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achinta gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami." The devotees, out of their extreme love for Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, always carry the Lord within their hearts. The Lord is already in the heart of everyone. But the Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas actually perceive and see him always in ecstasy. So therefore, the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are carriers of Vishnu. Wherever they go, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, or the devotees of Lord Vishnu are all carried. See, the four Kumaras are Brahmanas, and they visited the place of Maharaj Prithu. Naturally, Lord Vishnu and his devotees were also present. So, under the circumstances, the conclusion is that when the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are pleased with a person, Lord Vishnu is also pleased. So, this is confirmed by Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakura in the 8 stanzas of the spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. So, by pleasing the spiritual master, who is both Brahmana and Vaishnava, one pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased, then one has nothing more to achieve, either in this world or after death. So, the point in one of the lectures, Prabhupada says, at the present moment, practically there is no Brahmana, no Kshatriya, no Vaishya, only Shudras, 4th class men. So you cannot expect any happiness guided by 4th class men. Not possible. Therefore, throughout the whole world, that is why it is a chaotic condition everywhere. Nobody is happy. So this is essential, that the human society must be divided into 4 divisions. The Brahmana class means the first class ideal man. So that by seeing their character, their behavior, others will try to follow. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha, 3.21 Bhagavad Gita says. See, real standards begins at home. As parents, we have to take extra care to put good values in our kids, right? Like being in a Krishna conscious environment, being truthful, honest. Nowadays, the generation coming up is really ignorant about the Vedic values. So how can we put all this in them? We can do it, not by forcing, but merely by following ourselves first. By finding where we as parents went wrong during their upbringing. So there's a very nice article. It's about a father and a teenage son. Okay. Once, father and son were going to the town. On the way, father told son to get the car serviced while he had to do some other job in the town. He told him to meet at a certain spot at 5 p.m. The son, after dropping the car for servicing, he went for a movie because he thought enough time is there. But he got so engrossed in the movie, he forgot the time. It was 5:30 before he remembered. By the time he ran to the garage, got the car and hurried to where his father was waiting for him, it was almost 6 p.m. The father was anxiously waiting, right? So he anxiously asked him why he was so late. Being ashamed of telling him of the movie, he told that the car wasn't ready. So he had to wait. But he did not realize father had already called the garage. So when the father caught him in his lies, you know what he said? There is something wrong in the way I brought you up, my son. Because that did not give you the confidence to tell me the truth. That means there is something wrong with me. So in order to figure out where I went wrong with you, I am going to walk home and think about it. So he began to walk home in the dark almost, right? So while the son drove behind for 5.5 hours, almost 18 miles, watching his father go through this agony, for a stupid lie that he had uttered. The son decided then and there, he was never going to tell lies again. Father felt so much for his son's lies that he punished himself first, thereby leading a guilt in the son, right? Making the son realize, why did I tell lie to my father? So he promised that he will never lie. See, it often happens that if our kids are wrong somewhere, we just try to either scold them or beat them. But rarely we do think, has the child learnt any lesson out of that punishment? See, by punishing the child may again do the same thing again, without rectifying his mistake. Or he may turn rebellious. So the whole incident makes us recite these words in 3.21 Bhagavad Gita, right? Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So kids always observe what parents do. If we as parent accept our mistake first before punishing them, half the problem will be taken care of. So to uplift their lives, the best way is to put Lord Krishna in the center of all activities. Encouraging them to give sincere pranams to the Lord, to chant and to recite shlokas. It will purify them as well as all through our lives. It will give them good standing. See, by following this path, automatically all good qualities will come one by one in the child by the mercy of Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada says this Krishna conscious movement means we are trying to create some first class men. This is Krishna consciousness, this movement. So therefore we have got these 4 rules and regulations. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. This is a preliminary qualification of the first class man. So we are trying our bit to make some men ideal first class men. Formerly it was Chaturvarnyam system, right? See, you don't think that all men are of the same intelligence or same category. No. Still there is intelligent class of men. See, like Prabhupada says, like those scientists, philosophers, they are supposed to be first class men. Unfortunately, nobody can recognize who is first class and last class. The proper management of the whole society, first class, second class, third class men must be there. Just like in your body, there are different parts of the body. Head, the arms, the belly and the leg. This is natural. Without the head, if you have simply the arms, belly and the legs, it is a dead body. So unless you are guided, the human society, by the first class men, whole society is a dead society. There must be division according to Chaturvarnya Maya system, Guna Karma, 4.13 Bhagavad Gita. Not by birth, but by quality. See, anyone can be trained up to first class, second class, as he likes. This is called civilization. See, some men should be trained as first class men, some as second class, some as third class. Balance, who cannot be trained, they can assist the other 3 higher classes. They are the Shudras. So a human being, if he is properly trained, if he is willing to take the instruction, he can be made first class. See, by birth one may be born in lower class, doesn't matter. But by training he can become first class. This is injunction of Bhagavad Gita, 9.32. Mam hi partha vyapashishtya yepi syu papa yoneha striya shudra tatha vaishya tepi yanti param gatim. Param gatim means to go back home, back to Godhead. That is our real home, the spiritual world. And live there eternally, blissfully, with full knowledge. So that is our real position actually. Here we are coming to this material world for material enjoyment. And the more we are making plan for material enjoyment, the more we are being entangled. That we do not know. We think that material sense enjoyment is the aim of life. That is not the aim of life. That is the way to become more and more entangled. See, for sense enjoyment, I got this body, right? Indian body. Somebody might have an Australian body, other body. But you have to change this body. Tata dehantra prapti. We are eternal. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit. The soul does not take birth, neither it dies. We simply change the body. Tata dehantra prapti. Just like we are changing our body. See, in a mother's womb, we are a small body. It grows. We come out. Again it grows. In fact, it is changing. The child is changing his body to baby, baby is changing to boy, boy is changing to youthhood. In this way you are changing the body. That we have got the experience, right? Child's body you remember, boy's body you remember, but the body is no longer existing, that body. But you are still existing. The conclusion is that but this body will be no more fit for existing, we shall have to accept another body. This is called Tata Dehantara Praptihi. So we have to change. That is nature's law. See, the soul is immortal. Na jayate na mriyate va kadatit na hanyate hanyamare sharire. Bhagavad Gita 2.20. The soul is not finished, simply a particular type of body being finished. No, soul is still there. People do not know this. And because they are simply engaged in sinful activities, their brain has become so dull. They cannot understand this simple truth that as you are changing the body in this life, you will change this body to another life. This is a very simple truth. But the advancement of material civilization, by this, we have become so dull. We cannot understand this. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one Srila Rupa Goswami says, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhakti Uttama. This is the platform of pure devotional service. One should not be motivated by fruity activity or mental speculation, but should simply serve Krishna favorably. This is first class devotion. See, in verses 2.64, 65 and 66, Krishna explains one can obtain his the Lord's complete mercy and become fully satisfied by fixing one's consciousness on Him. This is achieved by following sadhana bhakti or regulative principles of freedom. However, if one forgets Krishna, there can be no happiness. That's why in 264, 65 Krishna says, what does he say in 64, 2.64? Raga dveshe muktaistu vishyanindriyescharan atma vesher videhatma prasadam adhikachati. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his mind through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. And in 2.65 he says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir asyopayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavattishtati. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of middle existence exist no longer. In such a satisfied state of consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So transcendental perfection is achieved by the devotee because he is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna. So the devotee is therefore untouched by material attachment. Although externally he may be acting within this material world, he is still doing all the other activities as well, but is fully Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada's gift to us, all of us, was to show this transcendental perfection to the world by his own example. See, Prabhupada says that the Lord is kind to help the devotee who wants to attain love for Him. He gives direction from within and arranges the devotee to come under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So the requirement on the part of devotee is to follow the direction of Krishna strictly. So by so doing, Krishna promises to deliver him swiftly from material existence. But if one is not strictly following the direction of the Lord and the spiritual master, the mind will never be peaceful. Then 2.66 Bhagavad Gita says, Nasti buddhir ayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na chavavayavyatya shantir ashantasya kuta sukham. One who is not connected to the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? In fact, Prabhupada gives 3 points. Number 1, when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only one can have real peace. The first point. Second point, he says, if one is not Krishna conscious, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. And the third, he says, make sure spiritual life will not give peace. Don't make a show of spiritual activities. So one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna, right, in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness, he will not be interested in the material things, dead things, taste for material and dead things. He has tasted the Krishna consciousness. So this transformation of heart is not found in the impersonalists, right, who consider himself the supreme enjoyer. So unless this transformation takes place, attraction for sense enjoyment will remain in the heart. My Guru Maharaj often stresses the point that our goal should be clear. Our goal should be clear. So we should be very much careful to always keep that ultimate goal of developing love for Krishna in our view. So this is the goal. Ultimate goal of developing love for Krishna. We should always be there. So this will, what happens now? This will give determination to overcome Maya's proposals to enjoy without Krishna. Srila Prabhupada's final point serves as warning that one may be engaged in externally in the process of Bhakti Yoga, but if one is not serious about transforming the heart, there can never be peace. So my Guru Maharaj used to say, if you do not keep Prabhupada, right? If you do not keep Prabhupada, our life is surely destroyed. In one sentence, Prabhupada has explained very clearly the constant thought of Krishna. And this is to be learned. The constant thought of Krishna. How we will have the constant thought? So all of our activities should be directed to Krishna. See, we prepare our prasadam in the morning. Bhoga, right? And offer him. So our prasadam also is directed to Krishna. And that is nourishing. Because it is mercy of Krishna, his prasad. That's why prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir asyopajayati. Prasanna chetaso yashu buddhi paryava tishtate. This is the effect of prasadam. Prasade sarva dukkhanam. All our mental anguish is completely gone by prasad. Everything becomes mercy. We build the building and offer the building to Krishna. Right? We have a nice temple in our house. We have a puja in our house. This is prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir asyopajayate. There is no loss in that place. Completely blissful, very happy always. Once, Lord Ramachandra was sitting with Sita Mata and Brother Lakshman. Of course, the great devotee Hanuman was sitting at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. And he was chanting his holy names with his eyes closed. Lord Ramachandra asked Hanumanji with a smile, "My dear Hanuman, I am here in front of you. Instead of looking at me, you are chanting my name with closed eyes. Why is that?" Hanuman opened his eyes and replied, "My Lord, by seeing you, many were liberated. By seeing you, many were liberated. But many more were liberated just by chanting your holy names." See, that's the beauty, right? Chanting is so powerful, so potent. See, long back, I was discussing with my god brother about attendance in house programs. We used to have programs in the house, right? So when I told him about my Guru's instruction, my Guru Maharaj used to always say, do not see the number of attendees. The program must go on. On this point, that Godmother enlightened me with the example of Vidura and Maitreya Rishi. He said, the preaching was 1-to-1. Maitreya to Vidura. No many people. And he stated that even if there is no one, my Guru Maharaj always say, even if there is no one, we can still speak loudly, which will reflect from the walls and we will hear the same. That will be double service, preaching as well as hearing. In the purport of Bhagavad Gita 12.2, Prabhupada says, a pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears, sometimes he reads books about Krishna, sometimes he cooks prasadam, goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. Prabhupada mentioned about chanting and then about hearing as well. See, when I came in contact with Krishna consciousness programs, I used to see senior devotees, put one hand on the ear while chanting. They said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. I was told that this gives us the opportunity to hear our chanting and also helps in focusing our mind at the Lord's lotus feet. So my Maharaj keeps on hammering this simple process of chanting. He has given us all possible liberty. He has told us that counting on beads is the best. Chanting means counting on the beads is the best. But if beads are not available, count on the fingers. If you cannot do even that, just chant. Krishna will count for you. It is really surprising that our dumb minds refuse to accept that fully. How simple it is to chant. One does not require any specific tool or complicated process or any preparation. We just have to say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, using the tongue, which is ever ready to speak out all nonsense, which is most of the times not only harmful to others but also to self. So, 2 points. Time is short, right? Please do not waste it. He used to say, when we get old, we will stop getting support from our hands, legs, eyes and ears. If we have not practiced enough and are not prepared for that, we will not be able to perform devotional service. If we have practiced very well, the 2 services we will be able to perform in our old age are chanting and hearing. The chanting need not be loud because our vocal cords, teeth, tongue may not support our wish. But our mind can continue chanting if brought under control. And the practice is started at a young age. As Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhagavatam 761, Kaumara Acharet Pragyu. Similarly, our ears may stop working for physical hearing from outside. But if we have trained ourselves, then we will be definitely able to hear our own chanting from inside. Krishna is pleased with any small offering. So one will be able to please him with this small offering even when one is completely disabled. We can chant all the time without giving excuses. Sometimes we cannot chant loudly when we are in public places. So if we develop the habit on concentrating on the Paramatma in our heart and chant loudly in our mind, we can not only engage in devotional service to Krishna, but also will be able to keep away material things, which always captures this idle mind and which is ready to become a devil's workshop within a fraction of a second. That's when Bhagavatam 6.3.32 it is said, Shrunvatam Granatam Viryani Uddamani Harer Muhuhu Yata Sujataya Bhaktya Shuddhayen Natma Vritabhi. One who constantly hears and chants the holy name of the Lord and hears and chants about his activities can very easily attain the platform of pure devotional service, which can cleanse the dirt from one's heart. One cannot achieve such purification merely by observing vows and performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. So Prabhupada says, guides us, right? Even if one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra offensively, one can avoid offenses by continuously chanting without deviation. One who becomes accustomed to this practice will always remain in a pure transcendental position, untouchable by sinful reactions. It is better to chant the holy name of the Lord so that one may become fully purified and eligible to return home back to Godhead. That is the aim of life. That is the perfection of life. I came across my God brother once shared with me. He said there's a song in which a poet writes in ecstasy, "My Shyam Sundar is with me. My Radha Shyam Sundar is with me. Neither I have anything to offer, nor I have money to spend on him. Only what I have is his name, which I chant with every breath of mine." So this is so beautifully given, right? So these are wonderful things we can learn. That's why in the translation of this verse which he discussing, he says, by regular service to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, so how much protection is given by Krishna to them. One can clear the dirt from his heart and thus enjoy supreme peace and liberation from material attachment and be satisfied. So the point to understand is, there is no need to undergo severe penance and austerities. Right? Just serve. Simply serving Brahmanas and Vaishnavas can get liberation. And he gave the example of Narada Muni. Narada Muni in his previous birth, he was a maid servant's son. But he got the opportunity to serve the exalted Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Thereby what happened? In his next life, he not only became liberated, he became famous as a supreme spiritual master of the entire Vaishnava disciplic succession. So according to Vedic system, therefore, it is customarily recommended that after performing a ritualist ceremony, one should feed the Brahmanas. So this is a very powerful and important point. So it is essential to render service to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas to achieve the perfection of self-satisfaction. So spiritual master is the best Brahmana. Whereas in the current age, I propose in the purport, no, difficult to find. Render service to Brahmana Kulas because in the Varaha Purana is given, no, demons have taken advantage of Kali Yuga. And they, by birth only, they are the caste Brahmanas, they are caste Goswamis, and in misguiding people around. So we should take by serving, by chanting and hearing this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can follow the instructions, be obedient to our acharyas. So by this regular service to them and by chanting and hearing, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Vinantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sandubhaya patitanam pavanebhya vaishnava. Thank you very much, Prabhuji Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord and purify ourselves. Hare Krishna. If you have anything to share or anything, you can go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Every sentence that you spoke was a pearl that I have to cherish and store, Prabhuji. And that father and son's episode that you told us is like a lesson for me, Prabhuji, and it is so touching that I have to tell this now to everybody who I meet. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. And lot to learn, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. That's a very good point actually, see, because we normally what do we shout at the children, try to punish them. But after punishing, do they rectify themselves? That's the point to understand. So they are always watching us. So we should be first ourselves doing it. Just by watching, they will learn.
Prabhuji, nowadays they don't learn even by watching.
So the point is that means there's still something wrong with us. Actually, Prabhupada, he said, right? When Prabhupada in one of his lectures, he said, one of the devotees, then he left. And Prabhupada did not tell anything about that devotee. He said there's something lacking within me. That's why he had left. That's why we blame ourselves, no? Everything stops. Then we have to develop ourselves. So we're learning from the acharyas.
Yes,
you,
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very nice class, Prabhu, and very nice example. Especially of Hanuman and Lord Rama also I like very much. That's
Yes.
how glorious and how powerful the holy name is, but we are not understanding and taking it seriously.
True. Absolutely true.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanya pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for a very wonderful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like I have a question. Like we listen to the like all the instructions what we given. Why is it that I am unable to like seriously imbibe in our life? Like just we hear and we forget, and it's like how can one how should one imbibe this in our life, Prabhuji? Because I understand it's we because the mind I don't know like we hear and again it forgets. So please can you help me in this regard?
Yes. I can also tell you, I forgot what the question you told me. No, it's okay. So it's, very nice, bro, this correct. But Krishna, see, it is only like an animal or something, it cannot chant, it cannot hear. It can hear, but it cannot hear all this. It cannot know how to lead a life, reasoning cannot be done. Only in the human form of life, we have been given the prerogative to know what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. Right? So the first thing is we have to, we know so what is good and what is right. So when we know that, so now because we are coming to Krishna consciousness, we know we have to chant, we have to hear, we have to, right? Chant, hearing and chanting is very, very important. So we'll go on hearing. So the cleansing in the heart takes place. So there is no shortcut actually. Only it is with each person through his experience, throughout his life. Accordingly, you will see how you have learnt in the schools and colleges. Because you have a goal that you have to pass this exam, you have to go to the next level, you have to go become a graduate, then only you get a job. So your goal, so you have to somehow pass, otherwise you are nowhere. So if you have that goal, when this goal is clear, then you will be more serious in trying to understand and imbibe the instructions and following in daily life. So unless the goal is clear, you will take it for very easily. चलता है, देखा जाएगा, वो बोलता है उसको क्या मालूम है. So like that, that attitude should not be there. So since we are in Krishna consciousness, okay, we are following in the instructions, but still it's not happening. It will not happen immediately, Prabhu. But we have to continue doing that. I think I gave an example. I don't know. Yesterday, with regard to this bamboo, right? In China, there's a bamboo tree. They sow the seed, right? So after normally water, you put the seed, you water, sunlight is there, it starts growing. But nothing was coming out. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 60 months. Nothing was happening. Then suddenly, after the 5th year, it grew up to almost 60 miles. 60, I don't know, something. So very tall it became. So the point is, suppose if you feel that if you sowed it, nothing is happening for 1 month, 2 months, what will you do? Stop watering, right? What will happen? It will die. It will die because you see that nothing is happening. But the bamboo tree, see, the nature is showing us. It was making the foundation strong. So once the foundation became very strong, then it grew so fast, faster than any other plants or trees. So the point is we have to be patient and continue doing whatever we are doing. That is nothing happening. It is definitely something is definitely happening. The roots are getting strong in foundation. So you don't think that Prabhu, I am not able to understand, I am not deviated, this thing. No problem. It is there for everyone is the same thing. Especially while chanting, deviations will be there. But to continue chanting. That's why everywhere chanting. Kali Yuga only chanting. More and more chanting. Try to, just like you, Hare Krishna, close your ears and also chant Hare Krishna, you will be hearing your own sound very clear. So more and more, so taste will come. So just by chanting Krishna from inside, he will guide you. Dadami buddhi yogam tam, he says in Bhagavad Gita. All these instructions are there in Bhagavad Bhagavatam. Krishna says we have to have faith in Krishna. I will give you the instructions. Sometimes you have to wait, the patience. Even the demigods and demons fight, right? When demons were working in the upper hand, the demigods went to Krishna and told. So Krishna said, now wait. No, this is not the time. It is their time now. So please wait. Tavat pratiksham. Afterwards. So here also we need the patience. We are doing very well, Prabhu. Whatever you are doing. See, how come you are coming and hearing so many classes you are hearing? Right? That itself is great. That means you have the intention, desire, and Krishna is providing you the facility to come to a class, to come to a program, do some seva, chant. Otherwise, you will not take the beads and chant also. Because of Krishna's mercy, we are doing this. So the foundation is getting stronger and stronger. Don't worry about that. Krishna will guide us. So I hope, presume this is useful for you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, very much, very clear, Prabhu. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Chandra Pranam. Jai.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. That is exactly what Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning in 761, which you mentioned. Srimad
Hare
Bhagavatam.
Krishna Guruji.
Yeah, it should be started from the tender age of childhood.
Correct.
Practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. So
Yes, very good. Thank you.
there itself, the purport, Srila Prabhupada is insisting on the, all this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam should be there in every school. It should be there in every school. It should be taught.
Correct.
So from the tender age of, it will automatically
So true.
upbringing and keep on hearing, chanting, all that. No.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, good point, bro. Very nice point. See, tender age of 5, that's correct. That we know now. We do. But we came late, right? So don't worry about being late. Otherwise, what happens? Our life also becomes the previous janma. Be careful. So you should be continuing doing that. So don't being encouraged. Anytime you can start. It's not. Of course, now our duty. We know now. this is the best, only right path. So we have to give it to the children, the next generation. And we have to be very careful and be very smart in teaching our children also. Because now, as you said, the current generation don't accept so easily. They ask questions, but still okay. That is good. So we can deal with them according to their time, place, and circumstances. They will definitely come, 100% guarantee. Thank you, Prabhu Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, I think Nirmala Mataji was asking, or somebody was asking.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay, so thank you very much, Prabhu Mataji. If you have any other questions or anything to share, if you do go ahead, I will stop here.
Prabhuji, you are going to share the link for the next class.
Next class is
Today's,
not
no, Rajkot, you said
yeah, Maharaj Deturobhav is there. So, yeah, yes, 10:30, yes. Thank you, Maharaj.
kindly share that, Prabhuji.
Sure, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Nanda Pranam.
The pronouns Devati Prabhu. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you how to get Ruchi on the holy name, but I think you have answered it already.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care, be safe, have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Dandavat.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So I have to stop, right? Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.